Welcome back to Pinterest Problems! For today's Pinterest Problem project, we're going to be having a slumber party! And as you can see, I've got all of my friends here with me. And, okay, well, at least I've got Sprinkles and Cinnamon, so that's okay with me. So at slumber parties, girls do things like paint their nails, eat a lot of junk food, remove their blackheads, talk about boys and their wiener size. And of course, you know what we're doing today. No, we're not talking about the wiener sizes. Okay, maybe just a little bit. For today's Pinterest Problem project, we are going to be making DIY pore strips. Because yes, we can go out and buy those, but is that fun? No, so we are going to try to make our own. For this project, we are going to need a small bowl, a fork, xanthan gum, I don't really know what that is even, paper towel, tea tree oil, and 1/4 cup of distilled water. Alrighty, so to start this off, we need to pour our water into our bowl. So far so good. Now we need to take 1 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum and put that into our water. And mix it up with the fork. It's getting all separated. But as we keep stirring, it's supposed to get thicker, and in the pin it says that it might take a couple minutes for it to get smooth and to the consistency that we need it to be. So here we go. It's like chunky. What do girls really talk about at slumber parties? Anybody's boyfriend who may be watching this, yes, your girlfriend does tell her friends about your wiener. They know how big it is, what you do with it, what you don't do with it, where you put it, where you don't put it. It looks kind of like mashed potatoes right now. It's not quite like the picture that I pinned, so I'm gonna mix it up just a little bit still. At slumber parties, we don't only talk about boys, we talk about other girls too. If Susie's a bitch, we talk about her all night long. Yeah, and if Susie's mom's a bitch, we talk about that too. This looks pretty good. This is looking like the picture. Our next step is to add our tea tree oil, and they suggest 4 drops. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I've seen a lot of different pore strip recipes on Pinterest, and I picked this one specifically because it's vegan. There's other ones that include things like eggs, milk, gelatin, which is animal bones, which is so gross. And do you think Gizmo would appreciate that? Gizmo would not approve of trying that one out, so we are going with the vegan recipe. To try out our pore strips, they suggest cutting up some paper towels into our very own pore strips. And now it's time to get even more beautiful by taking my makeup off in the areas that I'm going to apply this, because we should not be applying this with makeup on. I'm specifically going to try to do my nose and also down here on my chin. I would love to see if this takes away the weird blackheads that I get down here. We need to put some of our goopy goop onto our paper towel. They don't say how much, so I'm just going to be pretty generous. And then just plop it onto our blackhead area. We also need to apply more goop on top, and I just got it up my nose. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so it looks like I have a giant booger coming out of my nose. That was way too goopy. Let's try it again. Try number 2. It's really slidey. Allowed to dry completely. So we've got some time to waste. While we wait for this to dry, let's share some slumber party stories. I'll go first. So this one time I was at a slumber party and I peed my pants. And that's what I get for drinking a whole box of boxed wine. I'm never doing that again. Till next weekend. As if a girl could give up wine. Okay, now it's your turn. Tell me your story. Uh-huh. What? You slut. I knew it! Does her mom know that? You didn't. Oh my god, with him? You're a floozy. You were drinking box wine too? So was I! Okay, so maybe I did the same thing once too. Oh, Teresa, you finally decided to show up. God, where have you been? The slumber party started hours ago.
Getting more wine.
Alright,
What
Teresa.
is that concoction? Concoction.
Okay, the pore strips coming off my chin just from laughing.
Oh.
So, that's a Pinterest problem. If you're gonna be wearing a pore strip on your chin at this slumber party, you cannot laugh because it's gonna start peeling away from your face. Okay, so at our slumber party, we're making pore strips. Like I told you on the phone earlier, you never listened to me. Let's put this on you.
Oh. Just slather it on.
Do you want one on your chin too? Got a couple whiskers if I pull those out.
How dare you say that?
It's been like a half an hour. I've been really impatient. I can feel my skin like hardening around these strips, and I think it's finally time to remove these. I've been fanning myself. I even made this really cute paper fan out of paper towels. Gently peel the strip up and away from the skin. I expect to see some blackheads on this thing. Don't you love when you pull it off and you look from all angles at all of your blackheads? It's like addicting. You can't stop. We'll be doing that with this if this works. I feel like I'm giving myself a new chin. Okay, I can't really tell with that one. Let's try the nose. I didn't see any blackheads on these strips, but that doesn't mean that it didn't remove them. So let's take a look in a mirror. Shing. I've got a ton of crusted product on my skin. I'm gonna take off all the excess product. A little dabby. Get the stuff out of my nostril. So, let's see if this worked. To be honest, I can't really tell. I had some like blackheads down here that I was hoping would be the most noticeable if they got removed. I don't think this completely took everything out, but I will say, my face actually feels really smooth where I put these strips. So maybe if anything, instead of like instantly removing the blackheads, it at least is kind of like a facial or something. Teresa, come on, it's time.
I don't have any blackheads, but entertain me.
Alright.
I told you I had no blackheads. Oh, ow. I don't think it worked at all. I still look fabulous.
On my Pinterest scale of 1 being a Pinterest problem and 10 being Pinterest perfect, I'm giving this project a 3. There were a couple problems along the way and nothing that was like crazy wrong with it, other than the fact that it didn't really seem to work the way that it was supposed to. My skin feels really nice and smooth, but I didn't see any blackheads on the strips, and when I looked in the mirror, I didn't really see any difference of like what I was hoping it would remove. So the first Pinterest problem that I encountered was the time that it took to dry. I say it took about 30 minutes for the strips to be completely dry on my face, so time is kind of a factor. Even though I was at a slumber party having the time of my life, it still made me feel a little impatient to sit there with this stuff just like hardening on my face. The second Pinterest problem that I encountered was that it made my face feel so like tight and crusty, and it was making it really hard to be able to laugh. I could feel it kind of like peeling off my chin a little bit as I was laughing. So I guess if you want to try this project and you do it at a slumber party, no laughing. So all in all, I did still like this project. It made my skin really smooth and it feels really soft actually. The tea tree oil also made my face feel really nice and tingly as I was waiting for the pore strips to dry. And then after I took them off, even now, my face just feels like really refreshed. One suggestion that I have for you about this project is to make sure you thoroughly rinse off all of the residue from your face. You don't want to go home from your slumber party and your mom asks you, what's all that white crusty stuff all over your face? What kind of slumber party were you at? The cost of this Pinterest production was around $15. This little tiny bag, xanthan gum. Okay, so I looked this up online to see where I could buy it, and I found it on Target's website, and I didn't even bother looking at the ounces. It kind of just looked like a bag of flour. So when I went to Target, I'm looking all over the baking aisle and I couldn't find it, and then I see this teeny tiny little bag sitting on the shelf, and I was like, oh, is that it? Okay, maybe it's like, what, $2.99, $3.99? This stuff was $10.99. So it's really small, and I don't know what else I'm going to use it for now, but I don't know, maybe in my next pin I'll bake something for you with this. And also my tea tree oil was about $4, and the rest of the stuff was pretty much stuff I already had laying around. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel and check out the other videos that I've made. Leave a comment for me down below telling me what you'd like to see in my next video. And I enjoyed our Saturday slumber party, didn't you? So why don't we try this again next week? Come back for another edition of Pinterest Problems Saturday Sleepover Party. And I don't think I'm inviting Teresa again because she was kind of a bitch.
Why, never!
I think we know the most important part of this video is to keep on pinning, because that is how we will find all of our creative ideas to try and mess up and get really mad over and then try another project all over again the next day. Bye!